Good morning, good morning. This is why women hate talking about body count. They hate talking about body count because they know it makes them look bad the higher it is. No matter how much feminism, no matter how many movies, Sex and the City, and all that other kind of stuff is trying to tell them that men and women are the same, which we aren't, they know deep, deep down inside that it's wrong. God gave all of us a conscience. Women know that the more men want you, but the less they have access to you, the higher value they are. Unfortunately, they've been taught through feminism and their teachers and their bitter mothers that don't have a husband that, oh, sleep around, men can do it too. There's no different. They try to call men ran through because we call them ran through, but it don't work like that. And when we're talking about body count, ladies, we're not necessarily, there's two parts to it. The physical part, yes, the more penises you had in your body, it's of different sizes and things like that that your vagina has to conform to. Yes, it can make it more difficult for the guy you finally settle with, or the guy who settles for you, I should say. To where if his, member down there in his pants isn't the same thickness or length or whatever as what you're used to, or I guess smaller, I should say, then it's not going to feel as good for him, and it's certainly not going to feel as good for you. You're physically going to be craving those guys that dug you out. You know what I mean when I say that. Dug you out the way you wanted to or the way you're used to. It's just like you're no longer with them or have access to them. So that thought process is going to be there forever because you're not going to be stimulated as much by the new guy or the guy you settle for or the guy that settles for you. Next, but most importantly, it's a psychological pair bonding aspect to it. Think about it like this, ladies. I'm assuming here that you weren't, touched as a child, or you weren't, didn't have some childhood sexual experience that shouldn't have happened. Obviously, let's say your first boyfriend was like the guy you were hooked on, like the very first guy, and it was a normal situation. You were the same age or whatever. You were of legal age. Let's say do you remember how much you had the butterflies for that specific guy, the first guy you were in love with? You remember how you trusted him? You remember how pleasant and feminine you acted? Because up to that point, you hadn't been screwed over yet, whether it was your fault or his, but you hadn't been, through the ringer yet, emotionally, in a bad way. Everything was great. And for whatever the reason, it ended. With the second guy, you might have still had some hope, but then it ends for whatever reason, whether it's your fault or his. The more times this happens over a period of years, the more bitter you become, the less likely you are to completely want to stick to a guy. So here's an example too. Let's say you take off a brand new sticker off the little white piece of paper that it comes on. You peel it off, you stick it on a wall or a piece of paper. It's stuck there almost forever, dang near. But it gets peeled off when you have a breakup. Put on another surface. That doesn't work out. Peel it off, put on another surface. It loses its stickiness. And I'm not even talking about the physical aspect of a woman's body count. I'm talking about the psychological aspect. The more times the sticker gets peeled off and reapplied to another surface, the less likely it is to be able to stay there permanently. And you get what I mean. I'm not referring to, I'm referring to the body count. I'm referring to you, the woman. I'm not referring to an actual sticker, if you get what I mean. So that's why it's so important, ladies. And it's true. And what's crazy is you don't want to have a younger woman as your competition. So you hate your fellow women so much. They call us misogynists. Y'all are the real misogynists. You hate us so much, or younger women so much, that you'd rather lie to them and tell them, oh, we're the exact same. Don't do what I did. Sleep around as much as you can. Misery loves company, basically. That's why women do that. So women don't listen to older men, or men, period. That's why even in the Bible it talks about the old woman should teach the younger woman certain things about how to be a wife and all this other kind of stuff, take care of the home. Because women normally don't listen to a man. Look at the Garden of Eden. Prime example. Most women don't listen to men. So God in his wisdom already knew to have them put in the Bible that, hey, older women, you teach the younger woman the right way, because most women are going to naturally look at the guy like he's the enemy. Like, oh, you're the oppressor, and, you're just telling me not to sleep around because you want to be able to sleep around and whatever else, whatever their explanation is. But yeah, you get the point. That's why women complain about body count so much, because they know it matters. But we're trying to tell you out of, your own good. But y'all don't want to listen to us, ladies. Y'all don't want to listen to men. We're trying to tell you before it's too late. But hey, what do we know? We're men, right? Over and out.